The secret war between Rihanna and Nicki Minaj has finally reached a breaking point, and the evidence is hiding in plain sight. If you look at the digital footprint left behind just 48 hours ago, you will see a timestamp on a specific social media interaction that changes everything we thought we knew about their relationship. At exactly 3:14 in the afternoon on Thursday, a verified industry insider leaked a series of messages that suggest the tension between the Fenty mogul and the Queen of Rap is no longer just a fan theory. This is the moment the silent treatment turned into a full-scale public relations battle. Today, we are breaking down every single receipt, every hidden lyric, and the massive financial stakes that have turned these two former collaborators into the industry's most high-profile rivals. You have to ask yourself, why this is happening now after years of strategic silence? Is this about the music, or is it about the billion-dollar beauty and fashion empires they are both fighting to protect? By the end of this deep dive, you will understand the 3 specific reasons this feud stayed underground for a decade, and exactly what triggered the explosion we are seeing today. To understand the current chaos, we have to look at the second most shocking piece of evidence first, which involves a calculated move by Rihanna during the recent promotion of her newest product line. According to a report from Business Insider on Tuesday, the marketing spend for the latest Fenty expansion was specifically targeted to overlap with a major release window for Nicki Minaj. This was not a coincidence. When you look at the granular data from the advertising buys, you can see that Rihanna's team bid on the exact same keywords that Nicki's team was using to promote her latest project. This is a classic industry power move, designed to drown out the competition's noise. But it goes deeper than just money. We have to look at the personal connections that have frayed over time. For years, the two were seen as the twin pillars of Caribbean influence in mainstream music. But the shift started when personal loyalties were tested. The marketing war is actually a battle for the soul of the consumer. And when you look at the board meetings happening behind closed doors at LVMH, you start to see that this conflict has been engineered to ensure only one queen remains standing at the top of the luxury market. The most shocking realization comes when we look at the timeline of the last 6 months, particularly the involvement of A$AP Rocky. While many fans focus on the surface-level interactions, the real tension started behind the scenes during a high-profile industry event in late 2025. Sources close to the situation claim that a direct confrontation occurred in the VIP lounge over a perceived lack of respect regarding a future collaboration. This is the moment that everything changed. The receipts show that following this event, both stars began a systematic process of distancing themselves from shared associates. If you look at the guest list for Rihanna's most recent private gala, you will notice the glaring absence of anyone from Nicki's inner circle. This was the first public signal that the bridge had been burned. We are talking about a total blackout of communication that has cost both brands millions in potential cross-promotion opportunities. Inside the room that night, the air was thick with a tension that witnesses say was undeniable. It was not just a disagreement over music, it was a fundamental clash of ideologies regarding how a legacy should be managed in the age of digital dominance. The third layer of this conflict is the proxy war being fought through other artists. Look at the recent rise of younger female rappers and who Rihanna has chosen to publicly support. By aligning herself with artists who have had public friction with Nicki Minaj, Rihanna is sending a message without ever having to say a word. This is high-level psychological warfare. On December 12th at 9:15 p.m., Rihanna posted a story featuring a song by an artist who was actively engaged in a digital dispute with Nicki Minaj. The timing was too precise to be accidental. It was a clear signal to the industry that she had chosen a side. This move forced a reaction from Nicki, who responded with a series of cryptic posts that insiders say were directed straight at the Fenty offices. The financial cost of this feud is staggering because it forces major brands to choose between two of the most powerful influencers on the planet. When you have two titans at this level of success, the collateral damage is felt by every stylist, every photographer, and every producer in their orbit. Think about the makeup artists who have had to sign non-disclosure agreements just to ensure they do not accidentally mention one name while working for the other. This level of institutionalized separation is unprecedented even for Hollywood standards. To truly grasp the gravity of this situation, we have to analyze the granular details of their recent interviews. During a sit-down with a major fashion magazine last month, Rihanna was asked about her influences and her peers. She listed a dozen names, but noticeably omitted the one name that defined her early career collaborations. This omission was a calculated PR strategy designed to minimize her rivals' relevance in the current market. On the other side, Nicki has been using her platform to highlight her own longevity and independence, often using phrasing that mirrors the marketing language used by Fenty. This is an intellectual property battle disguised as a celebrity beef. They are fighting for the same piece of the culture, and there's only one room at the very top of the mountain. We have to look at the way the legal teams have been filing trademarks in a race to own specific aesthetic choices. Every time one of them chooses a specific shade of neon or a specific font for their merchandise, it's backed by a team of lawyers checking to see if the other has already claimed it. This level of institutionalized separation is unprecedented, even for Hollywood standards. The history of their collaboration back in 2011 with the hit song Fly seems like a lifetime ago. Back then, the narrative was about empowerment and unity, but the shift toward business dominance changed the dynamic. According to a 2024 analysis by Forbes, the overlap in their target demographics is nearly 85%. This means every dollar spent on a Nicki Minaj concert ticket is a dollar potentially taken away from a Fenty beauty purchase. The stakes are no longer just about who has the #1 song on the charts. It's about who owns the lifestyle of the modern consumer. The silent war exploded because the market became too small for both of them to occupy the same space without friction. We are talking about the difference between a $100 million year and a $1 billion decade. The pressures of maintaining these massive corporate entities have turned what used to be a friendly rivalry into a cold and calculated corporate standoff. When we look at the legal precedents for these types of industry feuds, we see a pattern of non-disclosure agreements and strategic leaks. Sources suggest that there are existing contracts that prevent either party from speaking disparagingly about the other in a public forum, which is why the shots are always subliminal. But the subliminal shots are becoming more transparent. On January 2nd, a leaked memo from a major record label suggested that producers were being told not to play certain tracks if the other artist was present in the building. This level of pettiness indicates a deep-seated resentment that goes beyond professional competition. It's deeply personal and rooted in years of perceived slights and missed opportunities for reconciliation. Every time a DJ in a club cuts a song short because one of their entourages walks in, you are seeing the real-world impact of these executive decisions. It creates a divided atmosphere where industry professionals are forced to walk on eggshells just to maintain their own employment. The fourth major factor in this explosion is the digital fan base. The climate on social media has forced both artists into a corner where they must acknowledge the tension or risk looking weak to their followers. The fan accounts have been tracking every follow and unfollow with the precision of a private investigator. When Rihanna unfollowed a specific account associated with Nicki's fan club on a Sunday night, it triggered a wave of speculation that the PR teams couldn't contain. The response from Nicki's camp was a series of photos showcasing her own business success, which was a direct rebuttal to the idea that she was being overshadowed. This is a game of chess, where every move is documented and every mistake is magnified by millions of viewers. The Navy and the Barbs are essentially two standing armies waiting for a single command to engage in a digital war that can ruin reputations and tank stock prices in a matter of hours. As we look toward the future of this conflict, it's clear that a resolution is not on the horizon. The financial motives are too strong, and the individual egos are too large to allow for a simple apology. We are witnessing a historic shift in how celebrity power is wielded. It's no longer about the music, it's about the brand. The secret feud between Rihanna and Nicki Minaj is the blueprint for how modern icons navigate the treacherous waters of global fame. They are teaching a masterclass in controlled chaos, and we are all just watching the fallout in real time. We have to consider what this means for the next generation of female artists who look up to them. Are they being shown that there is only room for one at the top, or are they learning how to weaponize their brands in a way that makes makes them untouchable. The intricacies of their business dealings provide the most compelling evidence for this divide. For example, when you look at the supply chains for their respective merchandise, you find a trail of exclusive contracts that prevent manufacturers from working with both parties simultaneously. This is a level of gatekeeping that goes far beyond the music industry. It's a strategic move to control the means of production and ensure that the competition is always one step behind. Even the photographers who work on their campaigns are often forced to choose a side, with multi-year exclusivity clauses that essentially ban them from capturing the image of the rival. This creates two distinct visual worlds that never overlap and never acknowledge the existence of the other. It is a total separation of two of the most influential aesthetics in modern history. Furthermore, the silence itself has become a commodity. By not speaking, the feud generates more conversation than any public statement ever could. This is the brilliance of the modern PR machine. They know that as long as they remain silent, the fans will fill in the gaps with their own theories, and the media will continue to report on every minor interaction. This keeps both names in the headlines without the risk of a public relations disaster. It is a symbiotic relationship based on mutual avoidance. Every time a new rumor drops, the engagement numbers for both of them spike and the revenue continues to flow. It is the perfect cycle of drama and profit that keeps the entire industry afloat. We also have to talk about the physical distance that has been maintained between them at major events. If you look at the seating charts for the last 3 major award shows, you will see a deliberate effort by organizers to keep them on opposite sides of the room. This is not just for the comfort of the artist. It is a logistical necessity to avoid a scene that could damage the prestige of the event. The handlers for both camps are in constant communication with event coordinators to ensure that their paths never cross. This level of planning takes months of coordination and involves hundreds of people, all working to maintain the illusion of peace while the underlying tension continues to boil. The role of the media in this conflict cannot be overstated either. Certain outlets have clearly chosen a side, and the way they report on each artist reflects the internal politics of the industry. You will see one magazine praise the business acumen of Rihanna while simultaneously questioning the longevity of Nicki, and then a different blog will do the exact opposite. This media fragmentation mirrors the divide between the fan bases and creates an echo chamber where everyone feels justified in their loyalty. It is a masterclass in narrative control that ensures the feud remains a central topic of conversation for years to come. As we conclude this deep dive, it is important to remember that these are not just celebrities. They are massive corporate entities with thousands of employees and billions of dollars at stake. The decisions they make are not just emotional, they are calculated business moves designed to maximize their power and influence. The secret feud between Rihanna and Nicki Minaj is the ultimate example of how the modern world of fame operates. It is a world where every move is strategic, every silence is a weapon, and the truth is hidden behind layers of branding and PR. The explosion we are seeing today is just the beginning of a new chapter in this ongoing saga, and you can be sure that we will be here to document every moment of it. In summary, what we are seeing is the result of a decade of simmering tension fueled by business competition, personal betrayals, and the relentless pressure of public expectation. The receipts are clear, and the timelines do not lie. This is not just a trend, it is a defining moment in pop culture history. The silent war has exploded, and the landscape of the industry will never be the same. If you want to see how this pattern of celebrity conflict plays out with other major stars, you need to look at the full picture of how these empires are built and defended. For more deep dives into the secret world of high-stakes celebrity drama, make sure to check out our Fresh Celebrity Tea playlist, where we break down the hidden motives behind the biggest headlines in the world. The truth is always more complicated than it looks on the surface, and we are here to make sure you have the full story before anyone else. This is the new reality of Hollywood, where silence is a weapon and the loudest statements are the ones that are never actually spoken. Make sure to watch the next video in our series to see how this conflict is affecting the rest of the music industry and which artists are being caught in the crossfire as the battle for dominance continues to escalate.